מזמור לדוד, אדוני אלוהי לא יחסר, בין הדשא ירביצני, על מי מנוחות ינהלני. נפשי ישובב, ינחני במקלי צדק, למען שמו. גם כי אלך בגיא צל מוות, לא ירא רע, כי אתה עמדי. שבטך ומשענתך, המה ינחמוני. תערוך לפני שולחן, נגד צוררי, דשנת בשם ראשי, כוסי רוויה. אך טוב וחסד ירדפוני כל ימי חיי, ושבתי בית אדוני לאורך ימים.
A Psalm of David. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil, my cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
Today we gather to mourn the loss of our dear Libby Lerman, a loving daughter, sister, wife, mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, aunt, and friend. The rabbis of the Talmud, Rabbi Hillel and Rabbi Shammai, debated the order with which we should light the Hanukkah menorah. On the first day, Rabbi Shammai taught that we should put all 8 candles in the menorah and light it full, and then remove a candle as the holiday continues, until on the last day there would be just 1 candle left, just a little bit of light. But Rabbi Hillel taught that we should start small. We should add a little light with each additional day, adding a candle, until on the last day, the 8th night, the Chanukiah would be full and the celebration complete. For he taught that each day that the miracle continued, it was better. Life was better. We should always seek to ascend, he said, to increase in matters of holiness, to strive to be better, and add more light. That was Libby, filled with light. She was satisfied, complete. The rabbis teach who is a wealthy person, one who is satisfied with their portion. That was Libby, glowing and beaming with the light of the family that she created. And so it was this past Saturday night on New Year's Eve at 11:15 p.m., the 8th and final night of Hanukkah, when all the candles burn brightly, filling the Chanukiah, the menorah, with the most amount of light possible. It was then that Libby left this world. The word Hanukkah means dedication and education. Both of these words define Libby. She was dedicated, most dedicated to family, and she gave each of you an education about the most important things in life. Libby has left behind many in mourning. Her children, Ingrid, Jill, and Edward, and Howard. The apples of her eye, her grandchildren, Shani and Ryan, Michael and Melanie, Daniel and Stacy, Eric and Alyssa, and the diamonds in her crown, her great-grandchildren, Ashley, Jason, Jordan, Eli, Maxwell, Jackson, and Sophie, and so many adoring nieces and nephews, great-nieces and great-nephews, including Sonny, Elaine, Judy, and Joyce, Tammy, Danny, and Jan. Libby returns to her beloved husband of nearly 58 years, Marv, her beloved parents, Lillian and Hyman Aronson, her sisters Bee and Sally, her brother Arthur, Marv's brother Irving and sister Mildred, and nephew Richard. She joins them all in their eternal home in heaven. As we sat down as a family to share thoughts and stories of Libby last night, this huge family that she built, along with her beloved Marv, Poppy, shared many tears, but even more laughs as we remembered Ma with deep, abiding love. The rabbis teach that there is a special psalm that is read, a section of the Bible called Eshet Chayil, a woman of valor, every Friday night when the family gathers for Shabbos, praising their mother, praising their wife, praising their grandmother and great-grandmother. And it's only fitting to read the words from the book of Proverbs, what a precious find is a woman of valor, for Libby. Eshet Chayil miyimsa v'rachot mipnim mikra batak bale bala v'shalo lo yechzar. What a precious find is a woman of valor. Her worth is far beyond rubies. Her husband puts his confidence in her, and he lacks no thing. She is good to him, never bad, all the days of her life. She opens up her hands to the needy and extends her hands to the poor. She is clothed with strength and splendor. She looks to the future cheerfully. She opens her mouth with wisdom. Her tongue is always guided by kindness. She oversees the activities of her household, never eats the bread of idleness. Her children come forward and bless her. Her husband praises her, saying, "Many women have done superbly, but you surpass them all." Charm is deceitful and beauty vain, but a God-fearing woman is much to be praised. Extol her for the fruit of her hand, and whenever people gather, her deeds will speak her praise. When we gathered as a family, there were so much glowing tributes that I want to share a tribute from each of the generations, from a child, a grandchild, and even a great-grandchild for Libby. First, these are the words of Howard, Libby's son. Thank you for joining us to honor and celebrate our beloved Libby Lerman. Libby, Libala, Libs, Mom, Ma, Graham, had the best life, a full life, an awesome life. She enjoyed every minute of it and loved sharing it with everyone of us here that she loves so much. Mom was pretty simple in her way. Family was number one forever. Nothing came before it, nothing more important. She was happiest anytime she was surrounded by family, especially Shabbos dinner and Shabbos lunch. She defined herself by her family, her biggest source of joy. She had a great sense of humor. She loved to laugh, to tell jokes and stories, had a great sense of humor. She lit up from the attention and the laughter and entertained more. She was always the last person to leave a party. When you were talking with her, she made you feel so warm and special. She knew how to give and return love. She believed with all her heart that you couldn't love too much. Beautiful and stylish, she radiated light and energy. She loved when doctors or nurses would double-check her birth date because they couldn't believe she really was born in 1924. She was easy to be around, so kind, warm, generous with all of her love. Her bucket list was overflowing. She felt very satisfied with life and her experiences. She didn't regret a thing except the sadness that we all feel here today. She was a fighter and fought so hard through her terrible health issues, but sadly she finally reached her limit. She willed herself to live until last weekend so she could have all of her chicks back in her roost. All 7 of her great-grandchildren and tell each of them one more time how special they are to her. So loved, so proud she was, beaming with joy. And these are now the words of Danny, her grandson. 2016 was filled with dozens of celebrity deaths, but none were bigger, more impactful, or more profound than the passing of our grandma, Libby Lerman. Like many celebs, our grandma had many names, Libby Lerman, or Gram by title, and confidant, friend, and teacher by practice. And like other famous celebrities, she leveraged her otherworldly standing to spread what I like to call the gospel of Gram: family, religion, love, and laughter. She was elated whenever she had the opportunity to remind you of these 4 important lessons. 1. You only have one family. Stay in touch and be there for one another. No call or visit ended without receiving a stern reminder, or shall I say impassioned directive, to keep in touch with family. 2. Being in touch with Judaism. Having a religious identity was critical, and with said connection, the good times are even greater, the hard times aren't quite as challenging. 3. Love. And do it as hard as you can. Our Gram reveled in the fact that her grandkids found their basherts, that we each created homes filled with love and passion for our mates and families was a source of great pride for her. 4. Laughter and levity make the world go round. She loved quieting a room so she could take the mic and perform. Her jokes were sometimes corny, oftentimes dirty, but regardless, they were always masterfully delivered. She was a natural comedian and lit up when she could make you smile. Each time I reflect upon my Gram, I'm flooded with countless memories, the hundreds of Friday night dinners, the games and plays and events that she and Poppy lovingly attended to support all of us, the board games, the card games, teaching us all how to dance the box step, how to play tennis, how to even thumb wrestle in temple. To say we all miss our Ma is the understatement of a lifetime. In a world that is oftentimes filled with confusion and uncertainty, you could always count on the love of Gram. She was always available to us, loved talking and learning about our ever-changing worlds. Our success was her success. Our evolution was her evolution. We are also blessed to be part of her world. We will forever love her and certainly miss her with all of our hearts. Danny. And one last tribute from the great-grandchildren's generation. This is a letter that Jason wrote. Dear Ma, hello, this is your great-grandson Jason. I know that you are now in a better place. You're looking at me writing this, but I just want to let you know how much I love you. You were 92, the luckiest woman in the world. Now you're the luckiest woman in heaven. I wish that I could see you one more time. I wish that I could hold your hand one more time and say I love you one more time. I wish that I could say that we were all here for you, that we all loved you. God is a mystical being, the game maker. He has a plan for all of us. I don't know mine yet, but I will. You are sent on this earth for a reason. I don't know the entire reason, but what you left behind is amazing. You have 3 amazing kids, 1 beautiful son-in-law, 4 grandkids, and 7 awesome great-grandchildren. You left behind a legacy. We are all that legacy. We know that you lived for our B'nai Mitzvah, and that extra time was a bonus. You were very sick, but somehow during that time you managed to get in contact with God and get extra time. Your goal was lived for the B'nai Mitzvah, and you did. You fulfilled your promise. Now you can party all the time with Marv, your brother and sister and parents. These past couple of days you were in 2 worlds, talking with the angels of our family. I am upset, mad even, that you left us, but it was better for all of us, especially you. You were a body breathing. You weren't Libby Lerman. I know that now. My parents did not want me to see you because it wasn't you. You are already getting dressed with your lipstick, dress, and party shoes for a New Year's Eve party up in heaven. When I got you your blanket, I knew you were already holding on to a thread. I thought it would give you the will to continue to live, but I was wrong. You were holding on to it the whole time you loved it. I wish that you had held that blanket and smiled as God took you away from heaven, from earth into heaven. I hate that you left, but I need to cry, to scream, to be upset. I will always remember you no matter what. Someday in a long time, hopefully, I will be with you, parting the night away. I love you and will miss you. We all will. We all do. I hope you have fun in heaven. I love you, Jason. Vivacious and strong, beautiful and kind, Libby was the true Ma. When you were with her, she made you feel so special. She built you up. Her love knew no bounds. She was humble and filled with incredible pride. Beautiful, never a hair out of place. Always dressed to the nines with matching purse that Marv would hold for her. Great-nephew Jeff wrote these words about Aunt Libby on Facebook. Her smile, her quick wit, her hugs, always followed by adoring compliments and heartfelt love and lots of praise. That's Aunt Libby. She was graceful and dignified, not in a standoffish way, but in an inviting way, with no pretenses. She loved all unconditionally and would smear you with kisses and some Yiddish. Ma never wanted anything from you. You were free to be yourself, but she would always teach you what were the most important things in life. She definitely knew how to use Jewish guilt, remind you not to leave the house without a coat, and to worry a lot about you. It was her way. She was strong and perhaps even one might say controlling. But as the years went by and the grandchildren gave her great-grandchildren, she became more like a partner in crime. Her jokes got dirtier and she loosened up. She became more accepting and always so full of pride. She taught the young ones Yiddish, enjoyed sharing her Jewish traditions and heritage with the next generation. We call that shepping nachas, sharing incredible joy and happiness. Growing up in Newcastle, Pennsylvania, Libby would travel to Cleveland to visit her grandparents and aunts. Libby was the baby sister in the family, and the family was so close. When they moved to Cleveland, they all lived together, one on each of the floors of the same house. And so it was that the family would always be so close. She was especially close with her sister Sally, whom she called Sissy. Though Libby was taller than her sister, she so looked up to her. They remained so close, spending Shabbos and holidays together. In fact, the entire extended, collected Aronson family would spend all 8 days of Pesach living together, cooking together, cleaning together, eating every single meal together, and it was the same for Rosh Hashanah and Thanksgiving and so many other holidays. The women would cook and the men would clean. And when Sally died 9 years ago, Libby became the matriarch of the family, and we all can agree that she did it very, very well. She always brought out the biggest smiles from all and made each of you feel special and important. The story goes that Libby was to go on a date with one of Marv's best friends, but he got sick. So Marv stepped in, and that one evening sealed the deal. They were married on December 23rd, 1945, and as they say, the rest is history. They were a wonderful, loving couple, a beautiful example for their children and grandchildren. They truly complemented each other. They would go to the movies, travel, or go dancing, or at least Libby would dance. In preparing for Marv's funeral service years ago, Libby told me this. She said, "We had a wonderful life together." Marv and Libby would always sit next to each other. Libby would be center stage, Marv sitting a little more quietly by her side. Libby loved to dance. Marv loved to watch her dance. When they were at the Mambo Club or other dances, Marv would sit as close as he could to the dance floor and watch her do her thing. All the while, Libby would be staring at him, not at her partner, winking and throwing him kisses. Libby and Marv were wonderful parents, the best cheerleaders for their kids. Howard, you told me that Mom would drag you around everywhere with her. When she designed the house on Bromley, she let you pick out the wallpaper and the furniture. You told me that Ma nurtured your spirit and that she was a great listener. Ingrid, you shared with me that though there may have been a little bit of drama growing up, you and Ma became best friends. She would go anywhere and do anything with you at any time. You often had midnight adventures, going out for pancakes late at night together, always getting lost on the way, going grocery shopping together, taking cookies from the bakery and eating them down the aisles before you got to the cash register. Jill, you remember how supportive Mom was all the years with your painting, bringing meals down to you while you worked in the basement, those salami sandwiches to keep you up to finish your work, and that one time when you had that special order of 900 hand-painted cards when Mom and the whole family pitched in to paint with you. Ma was a great cook and baker, all the traditional favorites, brisket, kugel. Marv would gorge himself on her cooking. She baked mando bread, all those Passover cakes that she would make for all the seders she couldn't attend, the nut-free ones and the ones with nuts, labeling them very carefully. She made challah with all the kids, grandkids, and greats for the holidays. She delegated out cooking for the holidays and supervised every single step, putting a hand in here and a hand in there. And lately it was matzo ball soup. That was the theme. She wanted to make sure that she taught each of you how to make her matzo ball soup, and she would make it all night long, preparing for the holidays. Hundreds and hundreds of matzo balls for the soup. And Ashley, you told me you remember sleeping over before Rosh Hashanah, and late into the night, Ma kept making more and more matzo balls. There are such funny stories of traveling with her to the Philippines, to Israel, to China, Washington, D.C., New York. She would go anywhere and do anything for you, always with incredible love. Libby loved the temple. She prayed every day. B'nai Yeshurun was a very special part of her life. She had an adult bat mitzvah in her late 60s. All the grandkids came into town to celebrate that special day. She also joined a tap dancing group in her late 60s. She had a very special tap dance recital. She designed the costumes, lots of fringes, and lots of iridescent sequins. As Libby's health declined, she was always content, always very well cared for, with respect and love from the whole family. You watched over her, made sure she had her dignity, that she was still the matriarch, still Mom. You honored her choices. You were always there, all of you, holding her hand, kissing her, talking Yiddish, telling jokes, probably dirty, and reminiscing. She knew that you loved her so much, and you should all know how much she loved you. We can surely say that she's now at peace, suffering no more. May her name always be for a blessing. Tehei Zichrona Baruch. And we say, Amen. We'll rise now for the memorial prayer.
El male rachamim, shochein b'meromim, hametzei menucha nechona, tachad kanfei hashechinam, b'malot kadoshim v'tohorim, כזוהר הרקיע מסירים, נשמת ליבה בת חיימתה ורחליה, שהלכה לעולמה, בגן עדן, תהא מנוחתם. אהנם, בול הרחמים, הסתיריה בסדק כנפיך לעולמים, וצרור בצרור החיים את נשמתם. אדוני הוא נחלתה, ותנוח בשלום על משכבה. ונאמר אמן.
Exalted, compassionate God, grant infinite rest in your sheltering presence among the holy and pure to the soul of Libby Lerman, who has gone to her eternal home. Merciful One, we ask that our loved one find perfect peace in your eternal embrace. May she merit the reward for living a life filled with righteousness and love. May her soul be bound up in the bond of life, and we all say, Amen. Please be seated. Following our service, interment will take place at Mount Olive Cemetery, and then family will receive friends at Acacia on the Green, 2202 Acacia Park Drive, Building 2 in the social room. Today, immediately following burial until 8 p.m. Tomorrow, Wednesday, from 2 to 5. Thursday, from 6 to 9 p.m. We will be holding an evening minyan tonight, a minyan during the day between 2 and 5 tomorrow, and then an evening minyan again Thursday evening between 6 and 9. And those who would like to contribute in her memory can do so to Chabad of Solon or Hospice at Montefiore Home.